What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video we are going to discuss mask mandates. We're going to discuss how some want to charge billionaires a space tax for entering into space. We're also going to go into depth as to what is going on regarding the infrastructure packages and what are the problems currently surrounding both of those. I want to address how progressives are still pushing for more stimulus and direct aid to the American people. We also know many Americans, as of right now, don't want to take their old jobs back, and you may be interested as to figuring out why that is. And lastly, yes, we could potentially see lockdowns sometime in the future. So I'm going to address all that right now. First off, I just want to say thank you guys for continuing to support the channel. If you could and you do enjoy these updates, could you go ahead, hit that like button. Also consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that is going on. So here's the update for today. First, Pramila Jayapal, who is the chairwoman of the U.S. Progressive Caucus, she said today that the expansion of Medicare that was being discussed in the $3.5 trillion infrastructure package, well, it wasn't correct. Initially, moderates were saying that they could support dental, vision, and hearing, or they could support lowering the age from 65 down to 60. However, lobbyists are already attacking that provision. So that is really up in the air at this point. Lobbyists are already attacking the adding dental, vision, and hearing as well, but that could be an easier sell, at least according to some. Well, Pramila Jayapal said today that dropping the age from 65 down to 60 or providing vision, dental, and hearing, this wasn't supposed to be either or. This was supposed to be and. Both of these were supposed to be included. She stated that this would not only allow another 23 million Americans the help that they need if we lower the age, but it will give proper coverage to all Americans in need. So this isn't either or, this is and that is becoming an issue. But as progressives push for more aid and try to get more into this $3.5 trillion infrastructure package, some are just trying to figure out a way to get this $1.2 trillion infrastructure package to pass. One of the issues that progressives have right now is that President Biden didn't sign off on a lower age. He actually, according to new reports from a White House aide, is saying he only accepted vision, dental, and hearing, not an age from 65 down to 60. That creates other issues. So, one report as of this morning states that the effective cost of adding an additional 23 million Americans is going to cost an additional $200 billion, and they would either have to cut one of their priorities or they would have to figure out a way to get more funding into that $3.5 trillion package, which would essentially push it up to 3.7 before the bill has even been written. So it's a big hurdle facing the Senate right now, and right now some are saying that this bipartisan group of negotiators, they need to try to hurry and finish this bill, because the longer they wait, the more provisions could potentially be in this. I said this over a month ago, that the longer this bill is held up, is delayed, we will see more and more ideas and people's agendas being thrown in there. That's exactly what's happening. Well, what I can tell you right now is that some are saying that the Senate needs to hurry and finish this bill, because if they can finish, then a vote can happen. However, if it cannot be finished by tonight, by Tuesday night, July 20th, if it can't happen tonight, then most are expecting the vote for tomorrow to be delayed. So again, another delay, as many experts already anticipated. Now, according to a few senators' aides, here's what we're hearing. The group was meeting again today to discuss this bipartisan bill and how to pay for it. There's still many issues going on. This is something that they say that they need to get their agreement on. They need to negotiate this, but also get the agreement of the White House. And this is where the hurdle is really starting to get bigger. Not only do the negotiators have to figure out a deal that they are comfortable with, they have to come up with an agreement that the White House would feel comfortable with as well. Well, that's one of the problems. Now, Senator Rob Portman, a Republican who is actually the lead GOP negotiator on this, he actually said this today. He said that this group is still waiting on this legislation to be scored by the Congressional Budget Office and the Joint Tax Committee. And until that is done, he is not going to vote on it. Even John Thune, John Thune, the number 2 senator, Senate Republican, he stated today that his expectation is all 50 Republicans vote no. So if they decide to move forward with this bill tomorrow and try to vote on it, it will not pass. Well, Senator Joe Manchin, he came out a little bit after this and he said that this should not be the end of negotiations, even if it's a failed vote tomorrow. And he went on to say, and I quote, "We've resurrected everything but Lazarus around here, so we can resurrect this one too." Well, we will see. But just to give you an idea of where things currently stand, progressives, they want to push for more. They want to push for that additional, lowering the age of Medicare from 65 down to 60. That's going to make this even more expensive. Well, according to reports, Republicans are worried that both bills will actually increase in size. Estimates show that the true cost of the $3.5 trillion stimulus or infrastructure package is actually closer to $5 to $5.5 trillion over 10 years, not $3.5 trillion. So that's a huge difference, and according to some, this is one of the reasons why this bipartisan bill from Republicans has to be fully funded, because if it's not, they worry that we will go into a deeper and deeper deficit because Democrats do not care about the deficit. Well, we'll see. Let's get into the news surrounding unemployment. I thought this was very interesting and wanted to bring this to your attention. We are now getting more reports from the states that actually canceled the unemployment benefits. There's 26 states that canceled. One was a Democratic state. However, 25 that's really where this data is coming from. What we are seeing right now is there wasn't much of a substantial gain in employment, and that's creating an issue for many governors. The stats were pretty much the same according to the report from both the states that were continuing to pay the benefits versus those that canceled it. Well, that's troubling. This one report is indicating that matching the right employer to the right employee is taking some time, and so we could potentially see a delay in hiring, or we could see that the employers are looking for some skills or certain qualifications that nobody really has, or at least their expectations are too high for the amount of money that they're willing to pay. So that could be an issue there as well. But as we know more there, I promise I'll fill you in on those updates as well. One employment expert, she did come out and say this is why unemployment benefits should have been tapered off. Now, here's what we were thinking all along, is that unemployment was going to run until the end of, I think it was the end of July. Okay, and again, this was just one report and this was months ago. But the unemployment was going to run till the end of July, and then for 4 weeks, we were going to see it go from 300 down to 250, down to 200, down to 150, and down to 100 at the very last week. So it would just kind of taper off. Well, that ultimately didn't happen, and some experts were saying that that was a missed opportunity because some say it will hurt the American people and the economy if benefits simply vanish overnight. Let me ask you this as well. If you had a great job, let's say you're making $500, $1,000 per week. Now, I don't know if that's a great job, but let's say you're making $1,000 a week, $4,000 per month. If all of a sudden you went from making $1,000 a week to making zero instantly, how difficult would that be to live off of? Probably pretty difficult. But if you went from $1,000 per week down to $800, down to $600, down to $5, $4, $3, $2, $1, whatever, right, and it tapers off, it would be easier to live with, and at least that way you could somewhat get used to the smaller income. But in this case, this expert is saying that no, by not tapering unemployment benefits and just those benefits vanishing overnight, they're just gone, that's going to put many Americans into a world of hurt. But some say they are looking for work, just people are not hiring. Others say that no, they do not want the job that they previously had. And here's the report, and I thought this was pretty interesting. Let me know your thoughts on this as well. But some say they don't want the same job that they have had in the past. 40% of workers say they would get a new job before they return to their old office full time. And they say that 50% of workers say that money is not the only part of this equation when it comes to choosing which job they want. Time is actually more valuable at this point than money. And this is something that I've been saying for years. I've been self-employed for the last 16 years. 16 years? 15 years. I've been self-employed for the last 15 years. I can tell you time is something that you will never get back. Money is great. Money buys a lot of things. But if I was making $1 million working for a company and I was working 80 hours per week, I couldn't enjoy that, fancy car, nice house, great vacations, because I'd always be working. Time is the most valuable asset we will have. Talk to any billionaire, talk to many millionaires. One thing they wish they had more of was time, not money. It's always time. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think is the most valuable thing? Is it money? Is it time? If you have more time, you can make more money. If you have more money, you cannot buy more time. You could hire more employees and effectively somewhat get some time back, but you cannot buy more time. That's one thing you will have a finite amount of time. And again, we can't get more time. We only have a certain amount. So, got to use it, the best that we can. Now let's get into the mask mandates. There are 9 states that are attempting to block mask mandates in schools. Earlier today, the American Academy of Pediatrics stated that all children returning to school should continue to wear a mask. Well, this was in direct contradiction to what the CDC stated a couple weeks ago. The CDC stated that all vaccinated children that are in school can actually attend school and be mask-free. But unvaccinated children should continue to wear a mask. The problem there is you cannot ask a child, hey, show me your vaccine card. Show me your vaccine passport. You cannot do that. And so that creates another issue. Well, how do we determine who is vaccinated and who is not? Well, what we know right now is that, again, the CDC, the American Academy of Pediatrics, they're going to go back and forth. Schools are trying to do their own thing. Well, so far, here are the states that are actually trying to stop mask mandates in schools so far. We have Arizona, Arkansas, Iowa, Oklahoma, Georgia, Vermont, South Carolina, Utah, and Texas. Those are the 9 states so far. Now I'm sure there's going to be more, but experts do say that this is that as the COVID cases start to rack up and continue to rise over the remainder of the summer, many experts, they do expect the CDC will roll back their stance on masks. However, how far they roll it back, that's something that we just don't know. Now let's get into this tax thing on space. Well, last week billionaire Richard Branson, he went into space. Today, the billionaire Jeff Bezos, he went into space. Well, lawmakers are not having it. Lawmakers are somewhat upset. They want to see billionaires taxed just like the rest of us and have no more free rides. What we know is one senator, this is Senator Bernie Sanders, he actually says that we need to be celebrating the end of homelessness. We do not need to be celebrating billionaires reaching space for nothing but joy and entertainment purposes. And then we have one representative. This is Representative Blumenauer. I don't know how to say his name. He said that space exploration isn't a tax-free holiday for the wealthy. He went on to say, he is from Oregon, but he went on to say that his plan, as of right now, which he is putting together, is to make space tourism taxable. And he states that, again, so his bill or his proposal is going to be called the Space Tax Act. Now, SPACE is actually an acronym. This stands for Securing Protections Against Carbon Emissions Tax Act. Interesting. Well, he actually went on to say, and I quote, "Just as normal Americans pay taxes when they buy airline tickets, billionaires who fly into space to produce nothing of scientific value should do the same, and then some. I'm not opposed to this type of space innovation. However, things that are done purely for tourism or entertainment and that don't have a scientific purpose should in turn support the public good." So we will see what happens there, but this is something that does have a decent amount of support so far, is to, yes, we need to tax any type of space travel. Not only for billionaires, but anybody else that decides to purchase a ticket, to go on that, flight. Yeah, you should be taxed. Well, we'll see what happens there. And according to health experts, here's what we know regarding lockdowns. They are expecting some form of a lockdown in the near future, and many say that this would most likely happen towards the end of August, so right before school starts for many, or sometime in September. This wouldn't be great as school starts and then we see more lockdowns. Well, here's what we are hearing. Some say right now that lockdowns do not harm health more than COVID does. Others say that a lockdown might be the only method to truly slow down COVID if more do not get vaccinated. So this is what's, and again, I think this is interesting. Here's the reason why. Some are saying that if you do not get vaccinated, then we run the risk of another lockdown. So is this a threat to the American people that, hey, go and get vaccinated or we're gonna lock down? That's not a good look. It's not a good look for governors. It would not be a great look for the White House if they came out and said this, which they didn't. Okay, I just want to put that out there. The Biden administration didn't say this. Okay, I'm just curious. How does this look? It doesn't look great to me. But right now, one expert says that schools will continue to struggle if COVID is not under control within the next 2 months. Okay, so the middle of September. We even heard from Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, and he said that another lockdown is possible as the virus surges in nearby states. He also went on to say that we are a long way away from another shutdown, but if it were to happen again, he would not be as in favor of big box stores staying open. That was a direct statement from him. So, places like Walmart, Target, they would essentially be shut down because they don't just sell grocery products, household goods, and medications. They sell toys, they sell electronics, things that the American people do not need during a lockdown. So because of that, he is simply saying that he wouldn't be as in favor of letting them stay open. So that could be a big shift, and that's something that we need to look into and actually watch for, because of places like Walmart, Target, big box stores, right? Clothing stores, if they are allowed to stay open because they're retail and they are essential, according to some experts, that if they have to shut down, this would create a huge unemployment crisis. So we will see what happens as we move forward, but as I know more, I promise I will share more. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.